The Galactic Council had a way of making things official. The requests were always stamped in silver ink, the forms came in triplicate, and the queues were endless. Somewhere in the vast bureaucracy of the Andromedan sector, Earth was listed as planet 100,669 in the queue of resets. Ordinarily, it would have been erased from existence in the blink of a cosmic eye, but the cosmic eye blinked slowly, and so the backlog stretched for millennia. But something unusual happened in the queue. Two inspectors, an avian and a reptilian, sent down to assess the planet, fell in love. On the lush rainforest world of Takara, where the air was thick with spores and the trees grew to the height of skyscrapers, the Takarans were a bird-like alien race with feathered crests and iridescent plumage. They could glide between the branches of their vast jungle cities, chirping melodic songs and weaving intricate social hierarchies. Among them was Kara, a Takaran diplomat with a crest of emerald feathers and an affinity for languages. Meanwhile, on the arid desert planet of Vishkar, the reptilian Vishkari were a formidable species with glistening scales and a smattering of feathers across their arms and shoulders. Their elongated snouts were filled with serrated teeth, and their eyes glowed amber in the setting desert sun. Among them was Rhynak, a Vishkari enforcer known for his unyielding sense of justice. Kara and Rhynak were dispatched to Earth under the pretense of a routine planetary assessment. The Galactic Council wanted to confirm Earth's contamination and prepare for its imminent reset. But as they blended into Earth's human population, they were drawn to the chaotic vibrancy of human culture. In the labyrinthine streets of New York City, they wandered among skyscrapers and street vendors. Kara marveled at the raucous sounds of Times Square, while Rhynak found solace in the quiet of Central Park. They fell in love amidst the cacophony of humanity's contradictions. But their love was forbidden. The Takarans and Vishkari had long-standing treaties that forbade interspecies relationships, and the Galactic Council was unyielding in its enforcement of the rules. In a dimly lit apartment overlooking the East River, Kara and Rhynak conspired. The Galactic Council was a monolithic entity that thrived on regulations, but Kara had a plan, a counterclaim to stall Earth's reset. "We'll argue that Earth was mistakenly placed on the list," she said, her crest ruffling with excitement. "It's a bureaucratic nightmare. They'll have to investigate." "And while they investigate," Rhynak added, "we'll have time to gather evidence proving that humans should be saved." The counterclaim was filed in the Galactic Council's database, and as predicted, the investigation began. Inspectors were dispatched, testimony was gathered, and the queue inched forward ever so slowly. Meanwhile, Kara and Rhynak set out to prove humanity's worth. They traveled the globe, documenting acts of kindness, resilience, and creativity. They filmed a street musician in Paris, an elderly couple in Tokyo, and volunteers rebuilding homes in New Orleans. They argued that humanity, for all its flaws, was capable of immense beauty. But the Galactic Council was unmoved. They summoned Kara and Rhynak to a tribunal on the crystalline planet of Arcadia to defend their claim. The tribunal chamber was vast, its walls translucent and shimmering with the colors of the aurora. The Galactic Council sat on raised platforms, their forms obscured by swirling mists. In the center of the chamber stood Kara and Rhynak, flanked by holographic displays of their evidence. A voice boomed from the mists. "You have filed a counterclaim to spare Earth from the queue of resets. Present your case." Kara stepped forward, her feathers bristling with determination. "Esteemed Council, we contend that Earth was mistakenly placed on the list. The contamination you refer to is not an existential threat. The humans have adapted, and they thrive amidst their imperfections." Rhynak projected a hologram of the street musician in Paris. "Humans possess a capacity for creativity that is unparalleled. They can find joy in the darkest of times." The council remained silent, their forms shifting in the mist. Kara continued. "Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the contamination was not a result of human interference, but rather an ancient alien artifact buried in their oceans." A murmur rippled through the chamber. You mean to suggest, the voice from the mist said, that an outside force is responsible for Earth's corruption? The tribunal chamber fell silent as the murmurs faded. Kara and Reinach stood firm, their holographic evidence shimmering in the crystalline light. The voice from the mist spoke again, now more intrigued than before. You mean to suggest that an outside force is responsible? The voice repeated. Yes, Reinach replied, and we have proof. He flicked his wrist, and a new hologram appeared. It was a digital scan of the ocean floor, revealing an artifact half buried in the Mariana Trench. The object was massive, a metallic structure surrounded by intricate patterns and pulsing with an ethereal glow. The council members whispered amongst themselves, a symphony of murmurs echoing through the chamber. The voice from the mist broke through the cacophony. This tribunal will take a recess to deliberate. Kara and Reinach exchanged a glance, and a faint smile crossed Kara's beak. We've bought ourselves some time. But as they left the tribunal chamber, they were intercepted by a sallow-faced Zelthian in a dark robe. His eyes were sunken, and his voice was low as he beckoned them over. You've stirred the waters, he hissed, and now the sharks will circle. What do you mean? Kara asked. The Zelthian glanced around before leaning closer. The council knew Earth wasn't meant to be reset. They wanted it for themselves, a playground for the inner elites. They planned to convert it into a holiday resort. You're lying, Reinach spat, his amber eyes narrowing. No, but I can prove it, the Zelthian said, pulling out a small holographic projector from his robe. He activated it, and the image of a secret meeting appeared. Several shadowy figures, their forms obscured, spoke in hushed tones. The reset must proceed as planned, one of them said. The inner elite have already purchased properties on every continent. And the artifact? Another asked. Hidden deep in the ocean. The humans will never find it. We'll come for it after the reset. Kara and Reinach stood in stunned silence as the hologram faded. Who are you? Kara asked, her feathers bristling. The Zelthian smiled grimly. A concerned citizen. You should find the human Travis. He holds the key to the artifact. With that, the Zelthian slipped away into the shadows, leaving Kara and Reinach to decipher his cryptic message. Travis McCall was a hard case, as tough as the rusted steel beams of the Brooklyn Bridge. He could drink anyone under the table, and his sense of humor was as dry as the Mojave Desert. A former deep-sea diver turned conspiracy theorist, Travis lived in a cluttered apartment filled with salvaged treasures and half-empty whiskey bottles. When Kara and Reinach found him, he was sprawled on his couch, staring at a flickering TV screen. Travis McCall? Kara asked, her crest ruffling. Travis glanced over, his bloodshot eyes narrowing. Yeah, who's asking? I'm Kara, this is Reinach, we need your help. Travis snorted. Let me guess, you're aliens here to save the world. Kara's feathers bristled slightly. Actually, yes. Travis laughed, a guttural sound that echoed through the cluttered apartment. Well, good luck with that. Reinach stepped forward, his amber eyes gleaming. You hold the key to an ancient artifact buried in the ocean. Travis raised an eyebrow. Yeah? And where's this artifact? Reinach activated a holographic projector, revealing the ocean floor and the metallic structure pulsing with ethereal light. Travis's smirk faltered. He leaned forward, studying the hologram. I've seen that pattern before. Where? Kara asked, her crest perking up. Travis grabbed a dusty notebook from a shelf, flipping through the pages until he found a sketch of a pendant with the same intricate patterns as the artifact. It was my grandfather's, Travis said. He found it on a dive near the Mariana Trench. Where is it now? Reinach asked. Travis reached into his shirt and pulled out the pendant, a tarnished piece of metal hanging from a leather cord. Kara's eyes widened. That's the key! To what? Travis asked. To Earth's salvation, Reinach said. With Travis in tow, Kara and Reinach chartered a deep-sea submersible and descended into the depths of the Mariana Trench. The darkness was oppressive, and the pressure threatened to crush the submersible, but Travis guided them with unwavering confidence. With Travis at the helm, the submersible descended into the inky depths of the Mariana Trench. The only light came from the vessel's powerful beams, which cut through the darkness like knives. Kara monitored the sonar, while Reinach adjusted the pressure gauges, ensuring their fragile craft didn't implode under the crushing weight of the ocean. "There. I see something truly unnatural over there," Travis said, pointing to a faint shimmer in the distance. The artifact lay half buried in the silt, its metallic surface glowing with an ethereal light. It pulsed as if alive, casting eerie shadows across the seabed. "Let's get a closer look," Kara murmured. Reinach maneuvered the submersible closer, and Kara activated the robotic arm. With surgical precision, she extracted the artifact from the silt and placed it in a containment chamber. As they began their ascent, a shadow loomed over them. An alien mercenary ship, sleek and menacing, emerged from the darkness. Its hull was adorned with the sigil of the Galactic Council. "We've got company," Reinach growled. The mercenary ship fired a warning shot, and the submersible shuddered under the impact. "Hold on!" Travis yelled, jerking the controls to the side. The submersible swerved, narrowly avoiding another shot. Kara activated the comms, her feathers bristling. "Identify yourself!" A voice crackled through the static. "This is Captain Vec of the Mercenary Corps. Surrender the artifact or we will destroy you." "Like hell you will," Travis muttered. He pushed the submersible to its limits, weaving through the underwater canyons as the mercenary ship pursued them. The pressure gauges flickered and the hull groaned, but Travis didn't falter. Reinach glanced at Kara. "We can't outrun them." Kara nodded grimly. "Prepare for combat." Travis steered the submersible into a narrow crevice and activated the external lights, illuminating the rocky walls. The mercenary ship hovered above, its weapons trained on the crevice. "They're going to flush us out," Reinach said. "No," Kara replied, her crest ruffling. "They're going to try." She activated a signal jammer, and the mercenary ship's targeting systems went haywire. The ship fired blindly into the crevice, but the shots exploded harmlessly against the rock. Travis grinned. "Nice work." But as they attempted to slip away, a smaller mercenary drone slipped through the crevice and latched onto the submersible. With a high-pitched whine, the drone's drill began boring through the hull. Reinach grabbed a plasma cutter and pried open the hatch. He climbed out onto the submersible's exterior, his scales glistening under the flickering lights. With a swift slash, he severed the drone's control cables and sent it tumbling into the depths. "That won't hold them for long," Kara said as Reinach climbed back inside. Just then, the mercenary ship fired a pulse cannon, and the submersible was rocked by the impact. Travis struggled to maintain control as alarms blared and water began seeping through the cracks. "We're not going to make it," Reinach said, his amber eyes narrowing. But Travis's eyes began to glow with a strange, ethereal light. He stood, his voice taking on an otherworldly resonance. "We will make it." Kara and Reinach exchanged a glance, but before they could speak, Travis raised his hands and the submersible was enveloped in a shimmering energy field. The cracks in the hull sealed up, and the alarms fell silent. "What the hell?" Reinach muttered. Travis's form flickered, and his human features melted away, revealing a glowing, ethereal being with translucent wings and eyes like burning stars. "I am not just a human," Travis said, his voice echoing. "I am a protector, a guardian of the ancient ways. My father was one of the ethereals, and my mother a mortal. The artifact calls to me." With a wave of his hand, the energy field expanded, enveloping the mercenary ship. The ship's weapons went dark and its engines stalled. The mercenaries tried to fight back, but their weapons fizzled uselessly. Travis raised his arms, and the mercenary ship was torn apart, its debris scattering across the ocean floor. Kara and Reinach stared in stunned silence as Travis's ethereal form faded, leaving behind his familiar human face. "Well," Travis said, brushing off his shirt, That was weird. With the mercenaries defeated and the artifact secured, the trio returned to the surface and made their way back to the Galactic Council on Arcadia. The threat from the corrupted Galactic Council members had been neutralized. The trio stood before the tribunal once more, this time with the evidence in hand. Kara and Rhynak presented the artifact, which Travis activated with a touch of his pendant. The holographic recordings of the secret meetings flickered to life, revealing the Council's treachery. The tribunal chamber fell silent as the images unfolded. The shadowy figures conspired to turn Earth into a resort for the Galactic Council's inner elites, disregarding the billions of lives that would be sacrificed in the process. When the recordings ended, the voice from the mist spoke, now filled with indignation. These actions are in direct violation of our cosmic laws. The corrupted members shall be held accountable. Earth will remain in its natural state. A murmur of approval rippled through the chamber. Kara stepped forward, her feathers glistening. In light of these revelations, we request asylum on Earth. We wish to live among the humans. Rhynak stood by her side, his amber eyes unwavering as he nodded in agreement. The voice from the mist responded, "Asylum is granted." The tribunal dissolved and the corrupted members were detained. As Kara, Rhynak, and Travis left the crystalline planet of Arcadia, they felt a weight lift from their shoulders. Earth was safe, and they had carved out a new future for themselves. Kara and Rhynak settled on Earth, choosing a small cottage on the outskirts of a quiet town. They used advanced technology to shift into human forms when they ventured into town, a small price to pay for peace and happiness. In her human form, Kara was a tall woman with emerald green eyes and a melodic voice. Rhynak appeared as a rugged man with amber eyes and a scar running down his left cheek. They quickly became known for their kindness and willingness to help their neighbors, though they kept their true identities hidden. Travis visited often, always with a grin and a story to tell. He loved the peace of their cottage, nestled by a forest and overlooking a serene lake. One evening, as they sat on the porch with drinks in hand, Travis turned to Kara and Rhynak, his eyes twinkling mischievously. "So, do either of you have any alien friends who are single? I can't find a human who can put up with my stubborn ways. They all seem to scream you're an asshole at me, which is totally not true. I am just set in my ways." Kara chuckled, her laughter like the wind through the trees. "I think we might know someone that could give you a run for your money." Rhynak grinned. "Tala from my homeworld would find your stubbornness endearing. She's a bit of a troublemaker herself and stubborn like you." Travis leaned back in his chair, a smile spreading across his face. "Well then, set me up. Surely she can't be as bad as me." As the seasons passed, Kara, Rhynak, and Travis found joy in their new lives. Kara immersed herself in the local art scene, her vibrant paintings reflecting her avian heritage. Rhynak became a forest ranger, his deep connection to nature guiding him through the woods. Travis, ever the adventurer, started a diving company, leading expeditions to uncover the ocean's hidden treasures. Tala eventually visited Earth, and she and Travis hit it off immediately. With her mischievous grin and vibrant plumage in her true form, she quickly found a place in their tight-knit circle. Travis and Tala became inseparable, their laughter filling the quiet town. The Galactic Council's corruption was rooted out, and the new leadership ensured that Earth remained protected. Kara and Rhynak continued to live on the outskirts of town, their love for each other only deepening with time. They would occasionally shift back to their alien forms, gliding through the forest or basking in the sun by the lake. And in the evenings when the stars twinkled above and the forest was alive with the sounds of night, Kara, Rhynak, Travis, and Tala would sit on the porch, sharing stories of distant worlds and relishing the peace they had found on Earth. For Kara and Rhynak, life among the humans was a small price to pay for the freedom to love and live without fear. They had found a home, and in the end, that was all they ever wanted.